Am I at the Salvation Army? If I am, let me hear a hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And over here, let me hear an amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Okay, that's enough. Give me a headache. Oh, yeah, no. Okay, maestro. La little traveling music, please. Woo! Gather round, gather round, gather round, gather round, gather round. This sanctified salvationist showman is in town. You don't tell me, you don't know me very well, but we're going to be very good friends, I can tell. I can see you looking at how I am dressed, and I can tell that. Oh, I can tell that you're impressed. My name is Joseph. Joseph Turkey is my name, and my methods drive some people quite insane. Hear my story. Oh, and do not misconstrue, because it's a story, and every word of it is true. Well, most of it, so go ahead and sue me. Okay? I have traveled my entire country wide and told of Jesus, how he lived and loved and died for all the people. He has come to set them free, free from sin and death and pain and poverty. And I have told this story truthfully, even when there were those who sought to cause me pain. For I have boldly told the truth and it prevailed, although sometimes it landed me in jail. But I always got out, so stick that in your pipe and smoke it. They tried to hang me from a tree because I spoke out, spoke against iniquity. I preached the gospel, preached it in the open air, and blew my cornet loud and clear. Some came to Jesus, and then he gave me life, while there were others who tried to stab me with a knife. But I kept preaching and declaring God's own truth, and those who fought me found themselves with one less truth. Well, most of them didn't have all of their teeth to begin with, you know what I'm saying? I think you do. The sanctified salvationist showman is in town. The stories I can tell you are certain to astound. Too many people I see quite undignified. They look and stare and sometimes appear mystified. But that's all part of my great plan to spread the truth throughout the land. And even if it cost me dearly, I'll preach and play because quite sincerely, it doesn't matter what they try to do to me, as long as I can dress fashionably. I look good, don't I? Come on, tell the truth and shame the devil. Gather round, gather round, gather round, gather round, gather round. The sanctified salvationist, sanctified salvationist, sanctified salvationist showman is in town. Salvationist showman is in town. Hey! Yes. Oh, no. This will never be doing. Please excuse me for just a moment, okay? Okay? Okay. Oh, hello, big boy. You could use some color in those cheeks. Come to daddy. Yes. Oh. That was worth the price of admission, right? Yes. Hello, you handsome devil, you. Whew. Almost perfection. Almost perfection. Yes. There we are. Yes. That is much better, don't you think? Yes? It's okay. I am a salvationist. You can clap. If you don't clap, you have to throw coins. You were quick learners. Now, we shall be able to continue. Oh, that is good. Well, my name is Nishan the Garabadian. Can you say the Garabadian? I did not think so. I was born in the city of Kailas in the country of Turkey. My father died when I was 3, and my mother when I was 14. It wasn't that bad, I just started. Oh, she wants a camera. Oh, well, go get your camera. I like to have my picture. Yes. So, anyway, my father died when I was 3, and my mother when I was 14. It was at that time I moved to the capital city of Turkey, Constantinople, where I studied the great art of shoemaking. Yes, I became one of the best shoemakers in the entire city. I was doing quite well for myself. My pockets were full of shekels. And then the Russo-Turkish War of 1877 broke out. The Russians are coming! Oh, the Russians were coming to occupy the city of Constantinople. It was then that I decided I needed to take a very long vacation. You know what I'm saying? I think you do. I had a brother who lived in America, and he had written to me about the many opportunities and wonders of that far-off land. So, at the age of 17, I hopped on board a ship and made my way to the United States. Along my journey, my ship stopped in Liverpool, England. Yeah. And it was there that I got my first glimpse of the Salvation Army. There they were, marching down the street, playing their horns, waving their flag, all dressed in your basic, boring black uniforms. I remember asking myself, who are these fashion-challenged people? Now, I know you do not know me very well, but one thing you must know about me, and that is, when it comes to fashion and my clothing, I am a man who likes a little bit of, how you say, color. Well, once I got over my shock at how they were dressed, I followed their little procession back to their barracks. While I did not speak any English, nor understand the word they were saying, what I did understand was how they were being treated. The people were yelling at them, throwing things at them, hitting them, while the police just stood by laughing. Stood by laughing at these people. I could not understand what they were saying, but I did understand by their actions. They stood there, and they allowed these people to do these things to them. And in their eyes, I only saw love. At the time, I could not understand how these Salvation Army people could just stand there and let these things happen to them, but they did. I was so impressed by what I saw that even though I could not understand them, every night I found my way to their meetings to hear their music and to witness their joyful style of worship. Did you know these Salvation Army people, when they sing, they clap their hands? Woo! And sometimes they shout hallelujah. And sometimes they even dance a little. Well. I had never seen anything like this before in a church. Well, after 8 days, my journey to America resumed, and I did not give the Salvation Army people another thought. I arrived in New York City. America, the land of freedom, the land of opportunity, the land of new beginnings. And I said to myself, Nisha, the Garabadian, it's America. And Nisha, the Garabadian, you've got a new life. Nisha. The Garabadian. You need a new name to go with this new life. And so I thought long and hard. And then it hit me like a pound of rocks. No. It hit me like a ton of bricks, yes. And I changed my name from Nishan the Garabadian to the very American-sounding Joseph Garabert. Ooh, that oozes with America, don't you think? Makes you want to eat some apple pie and play some baseball. Well, after arriving in New York, I made my way to find my brother, who was living in the state of Massa. Oh, how do you say Massa? Gesundheit. Yes. I lived with him for a little over a year, and while I was there, I learned how to speak English. But after a while, I kept hearing the west coast of America calling my name. Joseph! Joseph! Metaphorically speaking, of course. You ask this beautiful lady what that means, she'll explain it to you. And what I just said will make sense, I promise. So, I moved to San Francisco, California, where I set up my shoe shop right next door to a Finnegan saloon. Big mistake! For you see, it wasn't long before Mrs. Finnegan and I became the best of friends, and all morning long, I'm walking next door to Finnegan's saloon for the whiskey and the beer. And all afternoon, I'm walking next door to Finnegan's saloon for the whiskey and the beer. And all evening, I'm trying to walk next door. I finally got so tired of walking next door, I finally just cut a hole in the wall. And when I wanted the whiskey and the beer, I just reached inside and grabbed it. This you did not know about me, but I am the person who invented how you call self-service. Well, the whiskey and the Joseph Garabet did not go together very well. As a matter of fact, there was a saying in my neighborhood, if a drunken Joseph Garabet in their life, trouble is not far behind. And so one day I am out with my fighting buddies looking for some trouble, when all of a sudden I hear boom, 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 boom. I wasn't sure, and I had not thought about them in over a year. But in my heart of hearts, I hoped that it was the Salvation Army, and sure enough, around the corner came that little band. My only disappointment was that when the Salvation Army had come to the United States of America, they had not adopted a more joyful style of clothing. They were still wearing those boring uniforms. But hey, nobody's perfect, right? Well, I don't know, there might be two of us in the room. You know what I'm saying? I think anyway, an angry crowd had gathered around the Salvationists. I pushed my way through to see what they were going to do to them. There, in the middle of the crowd, was a young Salvation lassie. She fell to her knees, and she began to fervently pray for the people of San Francisco. For the people, they laughed at her. They mocked her. And then this one young hoodlum, he picked up a handful of mud, and he threw it at her, hitting her in the face. She paused for only a moment to wipe the mud from her face. Then she continued to pray. Well, the fighter and what took over, I could not stand by